Hello there. You're very welcome to this broadcast. We are very glad to have you here today, and we're really excited that you've joined us. Today, we are speaking about um, the environment in Uganda, a hot topic that most people are so keen in discussing it, but normally we don't go so deep. We've seen that we are having a lot of rain. And when the rain stops, we get a lot of sunshine. So there are adverse climatic change conditions, and they are affecting Uganda. So what can we do as a country, individually but also collectively? We need to have some serious soul searching, but also some actionable points that we can do to reverse this trend. This is our beautiful country, and we can really change the way it is environmentally. So we want to discuss what can we do practically to reverse what is happening. First of all, we want to really say that climate change is real in Uganda and it's going to affect us. Not so much like it has affected the Western world, but it will affect us if we don't take some action. And so, what can we do? The first responsibility of environmental protection purely and solely rests on government, and it rests on the ministry in charge of the environment. There is nobody else. Now, within the government, there are several agencies, including the National Forestry Authority and the National Environment Management Authority. These agencies must take up the mantle and raise the bar. So, what can they do? The first thing is to stop the paperwork. We've had enough reports, we've written enough literature, but literature alone will not solve the problems that we have. We are so big in drafting policies and coming up with good literature, but this literature finally ends up on either our shelves or in the dustbin. So, what can we do? As a country, as the Ministry of Works, as a ministry in charge of environment and National Environment Management Authority, the two leading agencies in charge of the environment must really wake up. Stop the publications, stop the endless publications of papers. They will not help us. The environment will be destroyed when we are keeping on writing endless reports. We must get to the field. We must do something about the environment. Secondly, I see that whenever there is some action that is being done by these agencies, they normally look at the villages and the rural areas. The environment is not so much affecting the rural areas. It affects cities and towns because that's where there is high population growth. And where there is high population concentrations, you have likelihoods of environmental damage. So where people are moving away from the rural areas into the urban areas, we must make sure that our cities, our towns are planned and well planned, and also um, when people are many, they don't destroy the environment. It's common that when you have so many people coming into cities, they are likely to destroy the environment. So, how can we mitigate this? How can we stop this? The first thing is to determine how people live and where they live. But secondly, and most importantly, is to make sure that we plant trees in urban areas. There is no any other way around. We must plant trees. We must plant trees, my dears. We have to plant trees. The challenge is that we don't even have where to plant them. But we must find it. We must find land where we can plant trees. That's the only solution. There is no paper which is going to come, which you are going to do that will plant trees. It's not there. Let us move from our offices and identify land and get people to plant the trees and also determine where people are going to live. When you have these trees in urban areas, you're going to have complete change of the environment. And that's where we must begin. It doesn't require any professor, anybody with super knowledge to know that trees and urban forests are the way to go. And we don't have much in Uganda, in Kampala, for instance. Most of the urban area, most of our trees, we are cutting them down every day as people are flocking into the cities. And that's where the problem is. Instead of carrying out several voluminous research papers, we must get this money and put it into planting trees. Give some people some money. Let's identify some pieces of land and let's plant trees deliberately, the trees and forests. And 10 years from now, we shall have something to talk about. 10 years from now, we shall be having those papers. Maybe they may be well written, but papers by themselves cannot transform a country. Countries are transformed by ideas, not by good ideas. Countries are transformed by good actions, not by good ideas. Ideas that stay on paper as worthless as ideas that stay in the head or in the mind of an individual. So we must get out and do plant the trees. Secondly or thirdly, the Ministry of Environment and NEMA must look for their friends, for friends or individuals, institutions that are like-minded. We must reverse this trend. We can't keep on having people, floods all over Kampala, drought, things that are making our lives not quite better. We have to make sure that we reverse this trend. We have to create green belts in our urban areas. This is very, very vital. We also have to make sure that the people whom we are working with know the agenda. What is the agenda? The agenda is not to write good reports. The agenda is to make sure that we have forests, green belts, and planting trees. So this is just the beginning. I want to thank you for having joined me, and we look forward to your views and comments on this. Hopefully, we shall have a clean, sustainable environment in Uganda. Thank you for listening, and goodbye. Have a good night, a good day.